All right, so I'm at a beach. I think this is called White Crest Beach. Anyway, it's south of Pigeon Point on the coast here. And I'm painting with my friend Ryan. And he's all set up, so let's go see what he's getting up to. It's showtime. All right, so so what do you got going here? You're looking at this scene right here?
Yes, I'm gonna check out these rocks right here.
Okay.
And hopefully get some some waves in, sort of at the rocks. Maybe get there some very hazy cliffs in the background.
Right, some atmospheric perspective there, pushing things back.
But there's not a lot of color. I noticed in the scene it's very much a light and dark kind of value situation, so really hoping to amplify the contrast between the white waves and the really dark kind of purpley yellow rocks. So
right. In some ways, it seems like it keeps it simple. When you're looking into the light, there's less.
It's backlit.
Yeah. So that it keeps the shape simple, but then there's less color, right?
There's less color, and so color is really fun. So you know, you just kind of have to choose your thing.
Right. And then it looks like what, 8x12 maybe?
This is six. The panel.
Yeah.
This is 6.75 by 12.
Oh, okay. All right. Cool.
And it's a 6:19 format, which is one of the preset aspect ratios I have on my phone.
Okay. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Composing with the phone. Perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
It really helps. So I can like throw a really simple grid on there, and then like I have a little app on my phone where I can bring a grid on it, and that way I can make sure I get the proportions of the rocks right, because I have this problem where I draw everything too big.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I see like a composition I really like, but then I'll draw it, and then instead of making that rock like that big, I'll make it like that big.
I know exactly what you mean.
So it helps me kind of keep things in scale right at the beginning.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I kind of do the same thing. All right, I'll let you get started, and then I'll come back and check with you.
Awesome.
All right, cool. All right, so I kind of have a similar situation. The scene I'm looking at, I really like it, but I can't get back far enough. Like, so there's some rocks in the foreground. I don't want them to be too big, so I might have to shrink them down. I like how there's this kind of creek running out into the ocean, and there's these rocks here in the foreground. A little bit of shadows, although I'm going to lose those. So just trying to find the right, you know, perspective here, or the right, you know, stand in the right place so that the composition actually works. I'm going to probably take some of these distant hills here and then move them over into the composition. And then of course I can focus on having some waves. So that's the idea. Anderson easel set up as usual. I'm going to be painting on a 16 by 20 inch panel, my usual palette of colors, liquid as my medium, and just a random assortment of brushes. As usual, probably going to be mostly using this natural bristle number 8 flat. I reduce the size of the rocks in the foreground because I don't want them to be too prominent. I'm definitely trying to accomplish a lot here, or include a lot. I want these rocks. I want this area where the stream breaks up as it's going into the ocean, and then waves and things in the distance too. So a lot to tackle here. So getting the scale right, I think, is important. So I'm going to start blocking in some colors here. And then see how I feel about it. So you got your composition worked out here. So it looks like you work at burnt sienna when you start as well, maybe?
Sometimes, yeah. I noticed it's very coppery, kind of the seaweed.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
It's a coppery reddish color.
Get those reds in there, yeah?
Yeah, and then trying to get the darks in.
Yeah.
It's a good way to generally start.
Yep, cool. Nice arrangement of shapes already.
Pretty good. I'm a little nervous about what's happening right in here. We'll see how that goes. I might move some stuff around a little bit if I need to.
Right in here. And what's your concern in there?
It's just the way maybe separating these two, or not getting enough distance or space in there.
Oh, I see.
There is a little distance between this one, and this one.
Gotcha.
And if it all flattens up too much, it might look a little awkward.
Right, so adding a little bit of atmospheric,
right.
Yeah, to push it back a little. I know what you're saying, right?
Yeah. And just kind of making sure it flows.
Yeah.
That this kind of visually flows from here through here. It It's kind of a focal point area, so maybe it's okay if the eye sticks right there a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah.
It might be fine. You know, this is kind of the setup phase where it's just building it.
Exactly.
And you don't really know until you start really putting the colors in whether your plan works.
Exactly.
That's the excitement of it.
Yep, totally. It is. I know. That's the stage I'm at right now. I don't know if it's gonna work. I have my doubts.
Good luck.
All right, thanks. All right, so as I talked about, I really like dynamic compositions where there's, you know, a strong presence in the foreground. In the past, it used to concern me because I felt like if I had too much, you know, too much weight or too much presence in the foreground, it would prevent the eye from going out into the painting. But I don't think, you know, I've noticed that in a lot of paintings that I really like, that it's not a problem. So that's kind of what I'm experimenting with today. So we'll see. So it looks like you got your colors blocked in there.
Yeah, I still want to get into the water in here, and then of course the rocks to put some more kind of thicker paint, some grays.
Right, but the arrangement of shapes looks good. Yeah.
Pretty good. Yeah, I'm a little concerned about this sawtooth thing I got going on right there. It's a little repetitive, so I might just modify that a little bit as I start to put the rocks in. Just keep an eye on it to make sure it doesn't look too perfect.
Do you do a lot of modification like when you're painting?
Not a ton. I try not to, but if something's looking awkward, then I'll switch it up for sure.
Well, yeah, off to a good start, man.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, it got pretty windy out there, so it fell down.
So it went over, and then yeah, you got a little bit of sand there, but right, if you let it dry, bugs are that way too.
Bugs are that way. Yeah, I got a bug right there. Once it dries, you actually it can brush the sand out, and it comes out pretty well.
Do you have areas of bare canvas too? A little bit, yeah.
Mostly right through here, you'll see just bare canvas. There's a little bit of white paint here as well.
Yep.
And
areas of thick and thin.
Yeah, the rock started to come together when I actually got the green in there.
I know.
That's when it did something. Before that, it looked a little dead, and then I just put some of these touches of green and yellow. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, it kind of played off that orange in a way that seemed to be happening a little bit.
I think also too, like the burnt sienna, the pops of burnt sienna are so important.
So important.
Right? To get that like complement in there. It adds so much like luminosity, I think.
Well, the funny thing about color is color's not logical.
Right.
Sometimes you have to enhance it to actually represent it how it really, it's weird. It doesn't look like that, but that is more lifelike.
Yes, right.
In the painting.
Right, you heard that you have to lie to tell the truth?
That's right.
Right.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, so true. Now it's the same size too,
exact same size, and I did it like just from the other side over there, little archway.
Yeah, like see, I love the strong, simple design. I mean, that's what's, you know.
I think that's what attracted me to it originally, is just that geometric shape versus the looseness of the water.
Yeah, and are you using any medium?
I'm using a little medium. Yep, I use Gamblin makes it. It's called McGilp, Neo McGilp.
Oh yeah, do you like it?
I do. I do. It's very similar to Liquin, but it doesn't have as much smell to it.
Okay, that's good to know. I'll have to try that. Yeah. All right, so I decided to stop and leave this painting as is, just kind of a rough sketch. I started putting some of the blue reflected sky in here, and I think I would have been better off leaving that, just that kind of orange or rust color. I do like these hills as they disappear in the background. I like that, and kind of the scrubby brushwork. I think it could help to have the water coming at an angle instead of straight across. So that's something, in other words, the white water coming more at an angle. I think that could improve things a bit. I do feel like that the wet sand there reads, you know, it does read like wet sand. I kind of had my doubts, but I like to experiment. So as usual, I'll just live with it and see how I feel about it as time goes on. But I think I will return to that spot and try painting, you know, a similar composition, because I do like the idea. It may just take a couple of tries to get it worked out. All right, so I had a great time painting with Ryan. We're gonna paint together again soon, and possibly surf as well. Ryan's been surfing for a long time, so possibly a surf paint vlog in the future. Be sure to check out his Instagram. I'll put a link below. And then also, if you'd like to see some extra videos and help support the channel, there's a Patreon link down below as well. Other than that, stay creative, and I'll see you guys in the next video.